I can't help but wonder if adding 4 additional superheroes to Superman's 4th big screen debut is a testament to how big the Big Blue Boy Scout is, or if it's like diminishing his star caliber. Here we are with James Gunn's launch, whatever, of the DCCU 2.0, or his middle finger to Disney and Marvel, however you want to call it. I'm Exigence. Welcome to the Nonsense Nexus, Flicks and Giggles review of Superman. All right, so Superman, let's talk about this movie. Right away, we're thrown in. Plot-wise, we just pick right up. We're just going right at it. There's no real origin story here, mostly. There's lore. There's origin lore, but not like an origin story. We're not starting all the way over. So we jump right in. To facilitate jumping us right in, we're given some text on the screen telling us 30 years ago, or 300 years ago, 30 years ago. It's all threes, and they're like, CinemaSins is going to ding them for giving us something to read to start the movie with. What I mean by we're jumping right in is Lex Luthor and the Man of Steel have been going at it for years already, long enough for Lex to have analyzed and studied him to know him like the back of his hand and his actions, his tendencies, and use that against him. Lois and Clark are already a relationship. Clark Kent, his secrets are known to Lois already, and that's what I mean by we're jumped right in. Those major plot points have already happened that you typically see in every other telling of Superman. Rachel Brosnahan, God, I hope I'm saying these names right. Marvelous Ms. Maisel. She's Lois Lane. David Corenswet, he's Superman / Kal-El / Clark Kent. I only know him from being the projectionist in Pearl. I thought it was him, had to look it up just to check to make sure after watching it. I'm like, that's funny. I don't pay attention to most things of characters that don't have names, but that's what I know him from. They have enough chemistry to carry. Like, it works. It's not something I normally care about or pay a lot of attention to, but I would notice if it was wrong. So it fits, it works, they check the box, they do good, no notes, that's cool. Now, Nicholas Hoult gives us a different Lex Luthor. Not different like what we got in Batman vs. Superman or Superman vs. Batman Dawn of Justice. Not that. God, no, not that. This is different. He's more angry, more raw evil, and has a good dose of swagger and just an undeniable I'm him energy when he walks in the room. You see it in the trailer. It's one of the coolest things in the trailer that Lex Luthor could muster and claim, and it fits. I like it. It works. I kind of want to see more of how this Lex got to that. Like, his loathing of Superman is strong, and I'd like to see him go from this very well collected person that Lex Luthor typically usually is, spiral on down to I hate you so much that he has for Superman going. Okay, now I'm gonna butcher my man's name. Edi Gathegi. Sorry, bro. Sorry. He plays Mr. Terrific. And I'm just gonna draw a quick thing I heard him say in an interview. Read him say in an interview about him playing Darwin in X-Men First Class. He wasn't happy with it either. Not that he didn't do his job acting, it's just they set him up in the script to do something that Sebastian Shaw has no business ever killing Darwin. Darwin's one of the hardest things to kill ever. But he says this is my redemption road. I'm about to do this right because they did me so wrong in X-Men or something like that. I'm paraphrasing because I'm being a fan. My man steals scenes. He shows all the way up. And I just like it. I just like it. I didn't read DC Comics as a kid like I read Marvel, so I didn't know what I was getting into with Mr. Terrific. I seriously thought, is he a technopath? Is he just a genius? What is his whole bag? And yes, he's not a technopath, but you'd swear he is with how seamless his super tech that he geniuses up works. Nah, he's likable. He's extremely likable, and he's got some cool lines. He's got his cool scenes. He's more present than the other superheroes in the movie, and it's good. He fits. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so back to the plot. Superman stops what would be an otherwise genocidal, one-sided war and gets caught up in the politics of it. He's considered even though he's not officially a representative of the United States. And obviously that puts you directly in political crosshairs when you do things like intervene in warfare. So now Soups has to deal with his public image in a way we typically don't see him have to worry about, and take a fair beating from some hammer of whatever that made up country that the whole thing's taking place in Europe, and work on his image, work on how his actions are affecting the rest of the world. And media-wise, it's not going well for him exactly. There's good and there's bad, and people still have their feelings for him. So off-screen, off the television, off the internet screens, people are still really rocking with Superman in a good way at the beginning. But as you can imagine, with politics being the cesspool of character they are, and you got a mastermind like Lex Luthor who's involved in the plot of the movie, the Man of Tomorrow quickly gets into a position where he's like, he can't handle the circumstances that are around him and what's happening. Because this isn't something you can just punch. Not that, Superman's not stupid, but it's just, he doesn't have certain means. Without certain means, he doesn't have a PR team, and he's not really coached on this. We see that in one of the trailers also, where he's kind of getting faux interviewed by Lois, and he pops off. It gets a little emotional. So it's like he's been doing this for years, as the movie tells us, but he's not a fully refined and seasoned Superman, it seems. Character assassination is what this really boils down to, is not something he's ready for. I'm always big about the villains carrying movies, and this Lex Luthor he's villaining. He's villaining. I have a love-hate opinion of this villain. It's obviously better than more recent Lex Luthors we've seen, and he's not the sloppy, criminal mastermind that Gene Hackman gave us way back in the day, which this movie pays a ton of homage to, by the way. No, I hate him because he falls short of a trope I like, and I think Lex Luthor's a good character for, the glorious bastard trope. He could have been that. He just didn't do it because he's not likable. For reference, glorious bastard, David Xanatos from Gargoyles. That's a glorious bastard. Lex Luthor could be. This guy's not. He loses his cool. He gets a little sloppy at the end, and he's not refined either. It's just a different take. I'm not saying it's terrible, because that's just what I don't like about it. What I do like about him is he's a cold, calculating, straight raw evil, murder you in broad daylight, hateful Lex. He's mad, and he's acting on it, and it's kind of petty. And I typically support big petty energy. It's one of my things. I draw power from it. What? Oh, but also that Lex Luthor, he really shows that he's an incredibly likable guy and chill if you're human. Just don't be, an alien or be better than him. Did anybody in the movie actually call him Kal-El? I mean, he replays video message from his parents on Krypton because, of course, you have to. It's like Batman's Crime Alley scene. How will we know he's really Superman if we don't do that every chance we get? But I don't even think they actually said his name in it. I don't remember. That's a genuine question. I don't recall. Oh, and then there's Krypto. Krypto is a menace. Very, very brief spoilers. This is going to take me 3 seconds to say. So just if you don't want to hear, just do a la, 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 right? 3, 2, 1. Lex should be dead. That's all. Spoilers over. Compared to the 2 cartoon iterations of Krypto, the super dog I've seen, this dog is awful. And I mean behavior-wise. It's just a very, very poorly behaved dog. This dog has had absolutely no training. Is he cute and adorable? I guess, if you like little scrappy dogs like that with capes on, sure, why not? But what Krypto is an example of how this movie flip-flops between serious and lighthearted silliness very, very fast. It's kind of just James Gunn style. I don't follow him for most movies. I don't know what he's done really before Guardians of the Galaxy 1. But in the Suicide Squad, in Superman, and in all 3 Guardians movies, he clearly likes to direct the flow from silly goofy, serious business, right back to silly goofy. Hey, let's have silly goofy happening in the background of a moment that should be heavily emotional. I don't mind it, but I'm sure some people that make a more traditional approach to how their stories are told would be like, this is confusing my feelings. And I could see how you would say that. I might say grow up and just evolve, or not. I'm not trying to be mean or judgmental. We visit Smallville, because of course we have to. I feel, again, like Batman's crime alley scenes and flashbacks, this gives the Superman movie legitimacy, I guess. But this is mostly just so we can hear, like, very, very laid out for us in a scene with Superman's father, or Clark Kent's father, really telling us the main theme of the movie, I'm guessing. Doing this weird thing where his eyes I thought he was dying. I thought he was having some kind of fit or a stroke. His eyes were like jerking back and forth in their sockets, looking at him like, your dude is right next to you on the bench. Why are your eyes moving like that? I was worried. But John Kent, Vince, I got it over here. Vince, Pruitt Taylor Vince, that's the man's name. Pruitt Taylor Vince plays John Kent, and I was worried for his health. I didn't know what was happening there. That was a choice. All right, so Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion. Hawkgirl, Isabela Merced. And Metamorpho, the Anthony Carrigan. Those are the other three supers in the movie. And I feel like only Metamorpho really has anything to do. It's not like I don't want Hawkgirl and Green Lantern in the movie. They just don't have as much importance to what happens to the overall plot. Although Hawkgirl does get a fatality, so I guess she's necessary for that. Lord knows the Kryptonian won't ever do that. Unless it's Injustice. Lex Luthor's got two main henchmen. One called the Engineer. One I don't want to talk about because it's spoiler and comic book lore heavy. But the methods employed to try and slay the last son of Krypton, I don't like it. It's like you nerfed him. I don't read a ton of Superman because I know the basics, and I know things like in the cartoon you see Superman having a spacesuit to fly in space, and then in the comic books he doesn't need no spacesuit. So knowing that, the whole nano choke him thing, I didn't like that. That's spoiler-ish, whatever. You know Superman ain't gonna die in his movie. If not, grow up. What are you doing? So I just didn't like little things like that. But we didn't have full-blown super-powered supervillains outside of those two. Are we here for the cameo? I'm not. Point blank. It's there. That's the very end of the movie before the credits. And then there is a mid and post-credit sequence. These things are elements of levity and just reasonable epilogue, not like a Marvel movie, except for like Iron Man 3, where that scene really didn't do or mean anything other than just Bruce Banner and Tony Stark being friends. But moving forward, are we building towards something? Are we getting like a crisis of infinite Earths? That's all I know. DC for having big things to build up to. Back in the day, Marvel was in love with the word infinity and DC was in love with the word crisis. So that's why I'm drawing that parallel, because that's where we could be going. Overall, it's like ice cream, because obviously it's a fun, good treat for a wide range of ages, but it is not for everyone. The film keeps things simple, not a lot of explanation. This is not a major thinking piece, and I don't think there's a ton of like between the lines reading you need to do. But my mother was content with it, and that's about the highest praise I can give a movie about the Caped Wonder ever. She's a much bigger Superman movie film fan than I am. These are my thoughts. What are yours? Did you see it? Did you see it in a cape? Do we not do that anymore? The theater I go to, nobody dresses up. Do we not do mini Halloweens for movies? Now I'm sad.